Welcome to Amazing Life 1-2 channel guides. Today you watching Anne Margret, Swedish American actress, lifestyle biography and beautiful photos. I hope you enjoy this video. Like, share, subscribe channel. Thank you for watching video. Not to be confused with Anna Margaret. Biography. Anne Margret Olsson, born April 28, 1941, is a Swedish American actress, singer, and dancer. As an actress and singer, she is credited as Anne Margret. Anne Margret c. 1963. Born Anne Margret Olsson, April 28, 1941, age 81, Valsjöben, Jämtland County, Sweden. Occupations: actress, singer, dancer. Years active: 1961. Present: spouse Roger Smith, M. 1967. Died 2017. She is known for her roles in Pocketful of Miracles, 1961. State Fair, 1962. Bye Bye Birdie, 1963. Viva Las Vegas, 1964. The Cincinnati Kid, 1965. Carnal Knowledge, 1971. The Train Robbers, 1973. Tommy, 1975. Magic, 1978. The Villain, 1979. The Return of the Soldier, 1982. 52 Pickup, 1986. Newsies, 1992. Grumpy Old Men, 1993. Grumpier Old Men, 1995. Any Given Sunday, 1999. Taxi, 2004. The Breakup, 2006, and Going in Style, 2017. She has won 5 Golden Globe Awards and been nominated for 2 Academy Awards, 2 Grammy Awards, a Screen Actors Guild Award, and 6 Emmy Awards. In 2010, she won an Emmy for her guest appearance on Law & Order, Special Victims Unit. Her singing and acting careers span 6 decades, starting in 1961. Initially, she was billed as a female version of Elvis Presley. She has a sultry, vibrant contralto voice. 2-3. She had a top 20 hit song in 1961 and a charting album in 1964, and she scored a disco hit in 1979. She recorded a critically acclaimed gospel album in 2001 and an album of Christmas songs in 2004. Early life. Anne Margret Olsson was born in Valsjöben, Jämtland County, Sweden, the daughter of Anna Regina née Aronsson and Carl Gustav Olsson, a native of Örnsköldsvik. She described Valsjöben as a small town of lumberjacks and farmers high up near the Arctic Circle, or. Her father had emigrated to the USA but returned to Sweden in 1937 and married Anna Aronsson. After Anne Margret's birth, Gustav wanted to emigrate again with the family. His wife hesitated and Gustav emigrated alone but was joined by his wife and daughter in 1946. 5. Anne Margret took her first dance lessons at the Marjorie Young School of Dance, showing natural ability from the start, easily mimicking all the steps. Her parents were supportive, and her mother made all of her costumes by hand. To support the family, Anne Margret's mother became a funeral parlor receptionist, citation needed, after her husband suffered a severe injury on his job. 6. While a teenager, Anne Margret appeared on the Morris V. Sachs Amateur Hour, Don McNeil's Breakfast Club, and Ted Mack's Amateur Hour. She attended New Trier High School in Winnetka, Illinois, and continued to star in theater. In 1959, she enrolled at Northwestern University in nearby Evanston, Illinois, and she was a member of the sorority Kappa Alpha Theta. She did not graduate. Citation needed. She was part of a group known as the Settletones, which went to the Dunes in Las Vegas, which also headlined Tony Bennett and Al Hurd at that time. George Burns heard of her performance, and she auditioned for his annual holiday show, in which she and Burns performed a soft shoe routine. Variety proclaimed that George Burns has a gold mine in Anne Margret. She has a definite style of her own, which can easily guide her to star status. 7. Personal life. Anne Margret is the stepmother of the 3 children of her husband Roger Smith, an actor who later became her manager. She and Smith were married for 50 years from May 8, 1967, until his death on June 4, 2017. Before this, she dated Eddie Fisher, 42, and was romantically linked to Elvis Presley when they co-starred in the film Viva Las Vegas in 1964. 43. A keen motorcyclist, Anne Margret rode a 500cc Triumph T100C Tiger in the Swinger, 1966, and used the same model, fitted with a non-standard electric starter, in her stage show and her TV specials. She was featured in Triumph Motorcycles official advertisements in the 1960s. She suffered 3 broken ribs and a fractured shoulder when she was thrown off a motorcycle in rural Minnesota in 2000. 44. In a 2012 interview, she stated, "All my life I've had this feeling, deep, deep, deep inside of me. My faith and my feelings. ... I mean, you go outside and you see flowers. You see the trees. You see all your loved ones, you see, and then you think of who created it all." She described her relationship with God, and with Jesus Christ as something which is really important to me. "If I thought that I would never see my mother and father again, I couldn't make it. I could not go a step further." 45. On May 14, 2022, she was awarded an honorary doctoral degree in humane letters by the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. 46. Career music. Anne Margaret began recording for RCA Victor in 1961. Her first RCA Victor recording was Lost Love. Her debut album, And Here She Is, Anne Margaret, was recorded in Hollywood, arranged and conducted by Marty Peich. Later albums were produced in Nashville with Chet Atkins on guitar, the Jordanaires Elvis Presley's backup singers, and the Anita Kerr singers, with liner notes by mentor George Burns. She had a sexy, throaty contralto singing voice. 8. And RCA Victor attempted to capitalize on the female Elvis comparison by having her record a version of Heartbreak Hotel and other songs stylistically similar to Presley's. She scored the minor success, I Just Don't Understand, from her second LP, which entered the Billboard Top 40 in the third week of August 1961 and stayed 6 weeks, peaking at number 17. 9. The song was later performed by the Beatles and was recorded during a live performance at the BBC, recorded on July 16, 1963, and broadcast on August 20, 1963. Her only charting album was Beauty and the Beard 1964, on which she was accompanied by trumpeter Al Hirt. Anne Margaret appeared on the Jack Benny program in 1961, Season 11, Episode 24. She also sang at the Academy Awards presentation in 1962, singing the Oscar-nominated song, Theme from Bachelor in Paradise. Her contract with RCA Victor ended in 1966. In 1962, Anne Margaret was nominated for a Grammy Award for Best New Artist. Citation needed. In the late 1970s and early 1980s, she had hits on the dance charts, the most successful being 1979's Love Rush, which peaked at number 8 on the disco dance charts. 10. In 2001, working with Art Greenhaw, she recorded the album God is Love, The Gospel Sessions. The album went on to earn a Grammy nomination 40 years since her first, and also a Dove Award nomination for Best Album of the Year in a Gospel category. Her album Anne Margaret's Christmas Carol Collection, also produced and arranged by Greenhaw, was recorded in 2004. 11. Acting. 1960s. Anne Margaret. In a publicity photo from the 1960s. In 1961, she filmed a screen test at 20th Century Fox and was signed to a 7-year contract. 12. Anne Margaret made her film debut in A Loan Out to United Artists in Pocketful of Miracles with Bette Davis. It was a remake of the 1933 movie Lady for a Day. Both versions were directed by Frank Capra. Then came a 1962 remake of Rodgers and Hammerstein's musical State Fair, in which she played the bad girl role of Emily opposite Bobby Darin and Pat Boone. She had previously tested for the part of Margie, the good girl, but she seemed to be too seductive for that role according to the studio bosses, who then decided to make the switch. 13. The two roles represented two sides of her real-life personality, shy and reserved offstage, but wildly exuberant and sensuous on stage. In her autobiography, the actress wrote that she changed from Little Miss Lollipop to Sexbot Banshee once the music began. 14. Her next starring role, as the all-American teenager Kim from Sweet Apple, Ohio, in Bye Bye Birdie 1963, made her a major star. The premiere at Radio City Music Hall, 16 years after her first visit to the famed theater, was the highest first-week grossing film to date at the music hall. Life put her on the cover for the second time and announced that the torrid dancing almost replaces the central heating in the theater. 15. 16. She was then asked to sing Baby Won't You Please Come Home at President John F. Kennedy's private birthday party at the Waldorf Astoria, 1 year after Marilyn Monroe's famous Happy Birthday. 17. Anne Margaret met Elvis Presley on the MGM soundstage when the two filmed Viva Las Vegas 1964. She recorded 3 duets with Presley for the film. The Lady Loves Me, You're the Boss, and Today, Tomorrow, and Forever. Only, The Lady Loves Me made it into the final film, and none of them were commercially released until years after Presley's death, due to concerns by Colonel Tom Parker that Anne-Margaret's presence threatened to overshadow Elvis. 18. Anne-Margaret introduced Presley to David Winters, whom she recommended as a choreographer for their film. Viva Las Vegas was Winters' first feature film choreography job and was his first of 4 movies with Presley, and his first of 5 films, including Kitten with a Whip 1964. Bus Riley's Back in Town 1965. Made in Paris 1966, and The Swinger 1966, and 2 TV specials with Anne-Margaret. Winters was nominated for the 1970 Emmy Award for Outstanding Achievement in Choreography for his CBS television special, Anne-Margaret, From Hollywood with Love 1969-19. In 1963, Anne-Margaret guest starred in a popular episode of the animated TV series The Flintstones, voicing Anne-Margaret, an animated version of herself. 20. She sang the ballad, The Littlest Lamb, as a lullaby and the literally rocking song, Ain't Gonna Be a Fool. Decades later, she recorded the theme song, a modified version of the Viva Las Vegas theme, to the live-action film The Flintstones in Viva Rock Vegas. 21. While she was working on the film Once a Thief 1965, she met her future husband Roger Smith, who after his successful run on the Private Eye television series 77 Sunset Strip, was performing a live club show at the Hungry Eye on a bill with Bill Cosby and Don Adams. That meeting began their courtship, which was met with resistance from her parents. 22. Anne-Margaret starred in The Cincinnati Kid in 1965 opposite Steve McQueen. She also co-starred along with her friend Dean Martin in the spy spoof Murderers Row 1966. Finally, she starred as the lead character in The Swinger in 1966 with Tony Franciosa. Her red hair color, she is a natural brunette, was the idea of Sidney Gilroy, a hairdresser who changed the hair color of other famous actresses such as Lucille Ball. She was offered the title role in Cat Ballou 1965, but her manager turned it down without telling her. 23. In March 1966, Anne-Margaret and entertainers Chuck Day and Mickey Jones teamed up for a USO tour to entertain U.S. servicemen in remote parts of Vietnam and other parts of Southeast Asia. Anne-Margaret, Day, and Jones reunited in November 2005 for an encore of this tour for veterans and troops at Nellis Air Force Base, Nevada. 24. During a lull in her film career in July 1967, Anne-Margaret gave her first live performance in Las Vegas, with her husband Roger Smith, whom she had married in 1967, taking over as her manager after that engagement. Elvis Presley and his